Big moves here today, boys and girls. I got a lot of stuff in the trunk. That's because behind me is a cardboard box full of JHM test pipes and also high flow catted downpipes. Now if you remember, we did the high flow catted downpipes on my S4, but those actually had an X pipe in it. This is a new revision that doesn't have the X pipe in it, and what that does is the X pipe was really for the 4.2 to help create a scavenging effect. With the 3.0, it's not needed. What this will do is it'll allow you to save some money when you're ordering your JHM catted downpipes. So very excited to get this installed today and see what it sounds like. The other update is that this revision or update has the baffles in them. So JHM has put baffles in the high flow catted downpipes, and those supposedly help with drone on the highway as well as like the low end wonky frequencies. I don't think it will help with the overall raspiness, which is just something that you deal with when you do test pipes, but maybe we'll play with that down the road. But super excited for this, so thank you to my friends over at JHM for sponsoring this video and for being a part of the channel for as long as they've been a part of it. Jake over there is awesome every time I've worked with him, so definitely make sure to check out their site. They make some awesome products. But for now, we can go see Billy, because Billy is my downpipe specialist. I'm gonna give him a challenge today, the test pipes. We'll see what happens. Microphone on before you film.
You're the film guy, you should know.
This is the kind of X-pipe area that no longer has an X-pipe. You see we have a cat there, this is where the baffling lives, right at the top of this guy. Pretty serious. And then, of course, we have the test pipes, which are known to be one of the hardest things to install on Q. These are known to be one of the hardest things to install on the 3.0 in general. Luckily, I have my neighborhood professional pipe installer. Sorry, that doesn't sound right.
Pipe layer.
So these are the integrated engineering non-res downpipes, which when Billy installed them, he put the nuts on the bottom instead of on the top. Wow, this is getting really bad. He put the nuts on the bottom instead of on the top, so it's easier to access. So normally you'd have a hard time doing this, but this time it's... actually, I'm not going to jinx it yet because we're only like 2 bolts in. Billy has been using this extension with a universal... Why is it not focusing? Extension with the universal on the end of it, and then we've been going around and up and over, and ended up taking the heat shield out right here for sight purposes, and then when we got the cat out, again, we cut it right at the back here, and Billy was able to finagle it out. O2 sensors are from the top, by the way, not from the inside. Passenger side, we've skipped the whole going over the top thing, and we've just gone straight to Sawzall. You guys know what it means when the mask comes out. It happened last time too. Oh, well, these gentlemen, while I go to the Home Depot to get more saw blades, end up not needing it. Now the second cat's out too. So new ones are going in. We have some O2 spacers, some right angle O2 spacers. You guys always ask me last time I did these, what are the O2 spacers? They're these guys.
You got the mic on?
So with the O2 sensor in, this is what we're working with. Spacer, the whole point is to remove the O2 sensor from the exhaust flow so that the car thinks that there's a catalytic converter in there, even though there's not. Not that we wouldn't run caps. Billy, we're putting the stock ones back in, right?
Back in.
We would never do that to the environment. Left my camera up there like an idiot, but here's the final product of everything together. These do not come with the kit. You should probably order new ones if you're gonna do this, because the old ones get rusted real easy. There's the cats. Here's the nice V-band connection here. And then up here we got the test pipes. Getting these out. Would you say it's harder to get them out or put the new ones in?
Getting them out.
Getting them out was a pain in the ass. But the JHM stuff matches up the mounting points and everything in here, so that's pretty cool. And overall, pretty high quality. So we'll see what happens as we break these in, but really excited with this. All right, well, many steps have been skipped, many frustrations, but away we go. What? No. Don't check in the light. That's pretty rad.
howdy.
I'd say we've had a little bit of fun revving it. It's very loud. Not sure if it's louder than the S4. It's similar-ish volume to maybe the non-res downpipes, maybe a little louder, but we'll have to drive around and see under load. Alright, so as you can tell, we got a little frustrated and didn't film as much as we should have, which I guess is not as helpful to you guys. What I will say is if you get a wobble socket with a 12, then you get a medium extension, then you get a universal joint and a longer extension, you should be able to get to the top bolts, which are the ones that we really struggled with. We actually, like you saw in the video, I think I got this on video, removed the heat shields from inside, right behind the brakes, I guess you would say, and that helped a lot, not so much for reaching up, but for ability to see and actually line up the bolts. I guess you probably don't have to Sawzall if you're down to remove like the steering input shaft or whatever that little thing that goes on the left side is. The right side's a little bit harder, or the passenger side I should say is a little bit harder because there's some transmission in the way, but I think it's possible to get it out there too. It's just easier if you cut. So we got a big old Sawzall and a 12-inch blade, and that took care of business. Now note that the cats are a very strong metal, I believe stainless steel. That's what Billy told me. And so it will take you a lot of blades to cut through them. Just expect that and don't have to make 3 trips to Home Depot like I did. Overall, the install was a pain for the test pipes. The downpipes aren't nearly as bad, and that's partially because we've done them already. If you still have stock downpipes, I would recommend a small 1/4-inch ratchet with a flexible head. I don't really know how to describe it. But if you go back and watch our non-res integrated engineering downpipe install, you'll see the tool that we use there. That's really helpful for getting to the bolts. I don't think you need a crow's foot, but you could also use a crow's foot there. I'm sure what a lot of you are here for is how does it sound? And now the first thing you should notice if you've been watching videos recently is that there's much less drone on the highway than there was with the non-res downpipes. Now let me run you through the exhaust on the car because I know you guys are gonna ask, and it's all in the description too. But before this, we had stock cats to integrated engineering non-resonated downpipes to AWE Touring catback. Now that may sound weird to you if you've owned a GTI or something. I've explained this in previous videos, but the cats and the test pipes are actually in the headers because this is a supercharged motor, not a turbocharged motor. So the cats are in the headers. The downpipes do not contain O2 sensors. They do not contain catalytic converters. They are simply a big resonator in the downpipes. When you hear downpipe, don't think like 2.0 downpipe, think 3.0 downpipe, which doesn't serve as much of a purpose besides just being exhaust. So, what we did is we put test pipes in to replace the catalytic converters in the headers with O2 spacers on them so we wouldn't throw a check engine light. Now, I drove about 200 miles and the check engine light came on, but then I flashed the crackle tune, which you guys will hear in a second, and the check engine light has been off since then. So it may take a little bit of time for it to come on. Depending on the spacer that you use, you may have no check engine light at all. From there, in the headers, we went to the downpipes, which are now the JHM, as I said, non-X-pipe catted downpipes. So these have high-flow cats in them. Something you'll notice specifically about my setup is that the high-flow cats are very, very close to each other. This is because of the AWE catback that I'm running. So JHM, I actually sent them feedback on that, and they've adjusted their jig for welding these things together. They make it all in-house. They've adjusted their jig so that there should be more of a gap if you have an AWE, so you won't run into any issues as far as the cats touching each other. And then of course we have the trusty AWE Touring catback, which as you guys know, I think is the best sounding catback on the market for the 3.0 right now. The one thing to note, like I said before, is that there's baffles in the downpipe, and the baffles are what really seem to have made a difference as far as the highway volume. It's really much more pleasant in here than it was when I had cats, which was not the story in my other test pipe car, my S4. There was a solid amount of drone on the highway. Less when we put the high flow cats in than we were running the stock downpipes. But yeah, this is way, way, way better. And I think the baffles have helped a little bit with the raspiness. I'll give you guys a sound clip of before with the non-res downpipes and then after with the high flow cat and test pipes, and let me know what you think. so like pure volume-wise, I think this is a little bit louder at full sing, but around town, like I said, it's actually quieter below like 3,000 RPMs. Between like 3,000 to 4,000 RPMs, if you romp on it, there is a lot of rasp, and I think that was semi-true with the non-res downpipes, but there's even more now. But up top, when you're like really getting it, this thing sounds really good. You can hear the crackle in those clips, by the way. That's from the Integrated Engineering Crackle Tune. It is a hoot now. I mean, they were loud before with the stock cats, but now that I have the cats move further downstream, one, I don't feel like I'm ruining my cats, and two, some of the pops are even louder. I did one under a bridge on the way home yesterday, and it was she was rowdy. So you can tell there's definitely more volume there. The high flow catted downpipes, I can't say enough good things about. I think they're just a really great solution for these cars. If you drive a test pipe car with your stock downpipes, you'll realize how, for lack of a better term, gasoline-y the exhaust is on these cars. It is brutal to breathe in. There's Mr. Jake Brake, he's behind me now. You'll realize how brutal. Really no flow restriction from what I can tell from them because they're high flow, but they really get rid of the smell, and they also aren't ruining the environment as much as if you were just running. Damn. That must be what it's like when I drive around my Crackle Tune for other drivers. And you're not ruining the environment as much. So I'm super happy with JHM. They've been very responsive to me as far as questions concerned, so I would definitely reach out to them if you have any questions. Would recommend these non-X-pipe downpipes. They seem to work really well. The car is loud, but I'm used to having a loud car at this point. It's not the end of the world for me. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Both I and JHM will be monitoring the comments. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Huge thanks to JHM for sponsoring this video. Go out there and spread some positivity, and I will catch you guys in the next video.